we did with the A4 fight F-22s, F-15s, both C and E models, and F-16s. So pretty much the whole, at that time, I never fought an F-35 in the A4, but certainly F-22s, F-15Es, and Cs and F-16s. And that was all out of Nellis Air Force Base in Vegas. When we first were standing up Draken, that's where we were flying out of, and we were supporting. I think it's the 422nd. It's basically operational test and evaluation squadron of the Air Force. So they have every type, model, series of fighter jet there, right? They have F-22s, F-15Es and Cs, and F-16s. And what they do is do operational tests on different systems and stuff like that,
Yeah.
right? So most of the time I had no idea what they were doing as far as what systems they were working on or what they were testing or anything, because I didn't need to know. I was a target that they needed to get their check in the block with what they were testing. So everything was pretty scripted. We'd go out there, and when we did stuff with them, and they would script it out for us because they were looking for different detection ranges and stuff like that. So nothing real remarkable about that. But every now and then we would join up with, they had an adversary F-16 squadron there
Yeah.
at Nellis, and we worked out of their spaces actually. And we would do stuff combined with them from time to time, which was more exciting because we would go up against fleet F-15, F-22 squadrons, other F-16s, and we would join in with the Air Force adversaries to be as a force multiplier. They would usually do OCA sweep in front of us, and we would be like bombers in the back with the capability to shoot because we had air-to-air radar in the A4 as well. And that was pretty fun. We go out there. Let me just say, hands down, the U.S. Air Force does a really good job with OCA and DCA, as you'd expect they do. They're very, very standardized, and they bring a lot of assets to bear, right, that I wasn't used to seeing necessarily in the Marine Corps. Anytime they go to the fight, they have a lot of little extra things that are out there helping them out, which is pretty impressive in the end of the day. So, but yeah, that's mainly the DACT that I would do in the A4 was that. Towards the end there, we moved our A4s out to Kinston, North Carolina. And we would fight at that point the F-15E, RTU, OCU, RAG, whatever you want to call it. So it was all training environment, kind of like what I did in the F-5 sometimes, fighting the training school for the F-18s. We would go out over the coast there in North Carolina and fight the F-15Es, the Strike Eagles. And once again, that was very canned as well. Some of the more fun stuff we did with them, though, would be they would do defensive engagement where they would fly as a two-ship, about 2 miles spread, and then we would camp out about 2 miles behind them, right, and follow them around. And they were waiting for their student. One plane would be the instructor pilot with the student navigator, and then a student pilot with the instructor navigator in the other airplane, or Wizzo. And we would just camp out behind them, and then they would wait. The instructors knew we were there, but they would wait till the student would get an eye on us, in a turn, see A4 behind them, follow them, and then they would engage us. So that was fun because then you get to do a 2v1 the hard way against two F-15Es in the A4, and that was pretty fun. You could usually do some good work on them if they didn't really know what they were doing yet, because F-15 is a lot of thrust, big airplane, but it's not as maneuverable, only because they carry a lot of pods on it and stuff like that. So that was always good fun.
Yeah, I can imagine the A4 kind of has a big chance there because they're always tanked up and got the pods on. So yeah, I think the A4 could give it a run for its money for sure.
Yeah, and we were hard to keep sight. If they're not used to looking at a smaller airplane, it's that's the big thing. Lose sight, lose the fight. It's if you're in a visual engagement and you lose sight of that other airplane, it's a really bad feeling. It's not it's not a good feeling.